Hi boys and girls, today we're starting topic 15, which is our first topic in geometry, and we're going to be talking about geometric terms today. We're going to split lesson 15-1 into 2 different days to make it a little bit easier for you guys. So today we're just talking about geometric terms, so I'm going to introduce you to a couple of terms that you're going to see on your math work today. The first term that we're going to be talking about is called a point. And it tells an exact location of something. So a point is just represented like this, like a dot, and it will have a letter underneath it. So the way that we say this when you're asked to explain or to identify something is we would say, this is point A. That one's pretty simple. The second geometric term that you're going to see today is a line, which may seem pretty simple, but the geometric definition is a line is a straight path of points that goes on in opposite directions. So these 2 arrows at the end of our line tell us that this line keeps going and going and going. It goes off my board and continues going and has no stopping point. It's made up of points. So you will usually have 2 or more points on a line, and they need to be labeled with a letter. So how I would label this, if someone asked me what this is right here, I would say this is line AB. And how you would write that is you make a little line like this to show that it's a line, and you start on the left to the right. It's line AB. So that's how you would show a line. It's really important to remember that a line has these 2 arrows at the end to show that it continues on in these opposite directions. The third geometric term that you're going to see today is called a line segment. And that's part of a line, but it has 2 endpoints. So endpoints are points like we've talked about, but they go at the end of the line. A point stops this line from continuing. There's no arrow saying that this is going to continue on and on. So this is a line segment. I'm going to label it with letters. So the way that I would say this is line segment CD. And if I had to write to show this, I would put a line like this, straight line, with CD underneath it. The difference between this and a regular line is that this has endpoints. A regular line has the 2 arrows on the end that tell us that it continues. The last geometric term from today is called a ray. And a ray is part of a line that has 1 endpoint and then continues on forever in the other direction. So one side has an endpoint and the other side has an arrow. The other side continues on in the opposite direction. You could still have other points on your line, but one side does have an arrow. The way that you would label this and say it is ray EF. So to label it, you draw a little ray that looks just like this with the 2 letters that it starts and ends with. So EF. Something to take note of today is they could give you an example that is one of those geometric terms. So I'm going to draw a line, 2 arrows on the end, but this line is going to have 4 points. So in order to say what line this is, we're not going to say it's line A, B, C, D. You take the first letter and the last letter, so the the two farthest points, and that's how you would label it. So I would label this line AD, because those are the first and the last points that it's showing me. You don't need to put every single letter when you go to write how to explain what this is. So that's something to keep in mind. If you have any questions today while you're on Pearson, feel free to reach out. There's plenty of adults that are going to be online today and would love to help you with your work. You can always just message us on Google Hangouts. I would suggest in the slides, there's a copy of these terms that I just went over with you. I would suggest writing them down in a notebook that you have at home that you can use throughout the week, or writing them down on some scrap paper or your whiteboard to keep with you while you're working on your math. Try your best today. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Use your resources on Pearson and this video to help you. Bye, guys.